I'm in the middle of reading all of these books, and I'm gonna see how many I can finish this weekend. So here we are. I don't know how we got here. I don't know how this came to be, but suddenly I'm in the middle of reading a lot of books and I just really have the need to finish them. So I'm on a mission. This weekend, I'm gonna finish as many of these books as I can, and nothing is going to stop me. I'm gonna finish at least a couple of them. I'm not gonna finish all of them. I'm gonna finish some of them though. I will. Some of them I need to finish because I have a book club that meets on Monday, and 2 of them we're discussing in that book club, so that needs to be done. Anyway, that being said, let's rapid fire through what I'm reading this weekend. Number 1, One Day in December. You may be thinking, hey, it's January, why are you reading this now? Well, this was our December book club pick, and I didn't read it in December, but we're meeting in January, so perfect. This is by Josie Silver. I'm currently on page 380, getting close. Book number 2, Addicted to You by Kristen Becker-Ritchie. I've been reading this one now for probably about 3 or 4 months. For some reason, have not finished it. Here we are. I think I'm about 75% of the way through. I can knock this one out this weekend. These big boys are not getting done this weekend, but I'm gonna make some progress, I'm sure. This is the tandem read of Empire Storms and Tower of Dawn. You may have seen my reading vlog, which I read some of these. If you have not seen that, go check it out. I'm gonna continue to read these, loving them both so far. Okay, well, I'm under halfway through Empire of Storms and I'm over halfway through Tower of Dawn, equaling probably about halfway through both. The other book club book that I'm reading is Bright Young Women by Jessica Knoll. This is a library book, as you can see, and it should be returned tomorrow. It's also the book club book, so I need to finish it for sure within the next couple days and get this back to its rightful owner, the public library. They own this book. Currently, probably about halfway through this book. Last but not least, we have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. I was planning to read a chapter of this every night before bed, and I did that for a while, and then for some reason I stopped. Probably because I'm in the middle of so many books at this time, and it's a little bit overwhelming for me. But here we are. I'm about 2/3 of the way through this book, and loving it. I've read the series many, many times. This is not a new read, but this one has fun pictures. That is the plan for this weekend. Come along, it's now Friday. I'm done work, I'm gonna read for a little bit. Let's see how many books I can finish this weekend. Let's all sit here and just make a little prediction beforehand. I predict I'm going to finish, I'm gonna finish 3 books this weekend. I've got like 2.5 days to do that. I can do that, I can get that done. Okay, how many do you think I'm gonna read? Let me know, comment, let me know. Let me know. So I've just been reading a couple pages of One Day in December, and this book, if this wasn't a book club book, I don't know if I would continue to read it or not. I'm not loving this book. It's very rare that I'm reading a book and I'm not rooting for the 2 main characters to get together, but in this book, I'm absolutely not. I really just do not like the male main character in this book. I think he's very childish. It's like he's a teenager trapped into a man's body, and it's very, very frustrating to be reading what I would call, I think it's a romance, but it kind of comes off like contemporary fiction a little bit. It's not really a romance as much as it is like a critique of people's relationships in these books, both friendships and romance type of relationships, as you're following these characters through years. But I found that the 2 main characters in this book, they basically had a friendship through this whole book, but I've never ever bought into their friendship. I just never really believed their friendship. I just think that they're very different people and they just never really seemed to connect. There never seemed to be an originating event or a series of events that grew this connection that they are always saying that they have in this book. And then they just always talk about this friendship that they have. But I'm like, you guys really aren't friends. You barely ever talk. What friendship are you talking about? So that's a little bit frustrating for me as a reader. I only have 60 pages left of this. So I'm interested to see where it goes. I'm close to the end. I'm going to finish it probably now. Yeah, and I'll let you guys know what I think at the end.
So I'm in bed right now. It is 10:17, so it's getting to be my bedtime. But I'm not gonna go to bed until I finish Addicted to You. I'm currently 86% of the way through, and my Kindle says I have 50 minutes left to read. So if I read consistently, I should be done before 11:30. So that's kind of my current plan. I did get a little bit of Bright Young Woman read as well, just like one chapter, so not very much. But honestly, I think I might finish 2 books today. I think that's so good. I'm so excited about that. That's 2 books that I can knock off my TBR. Oh my gosh. I was just so overwhelmed. Even just having one done, it just feels so good. So I'm going to finish this tonight for sure. My eyes are already trying to fall asleep, so we're not going to let that happen. We're going to persevere. We're going to push through. We're going to do amazing things. So I'm going to read for a little bit, and I will catch up with you later. Oh my gosh, I did not see that coming. What? What? Oh, I get it. Wow.
It is now Saturday morning. I just got up and showered and kind of a little bit ready for the day. I don't really have much going on today, so not that ready, but a little bit ready. So yesterday was really, really good. I finished both One Day in December and Addicted to You. So round of applause for that. I'm so happy that I finished both of those books. But I was looking through the footage and I did such a terrible job filming yesterday. I don't know what happened, but I had a bunch of footage about when I finished One Day in December talking about it. And it was all out of focus. It was not good. So that's just off. We're not even thinking about that. And then I got a new mic set yesterday and I was trying to use it when I was talking about this book and reading this book in bed, Addicted to You. It's now gone. I don't know why I'm like holding this like it's still there. But yeah, I just don't really like the mic quality. It sounds a little bit crackly. So I'm really sorry about that and you having to suffer through that. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, but I think I'm just gonna go back to using the camera mic for now, and then I don't know. It's all right. Hopefully you guys are okay with this. So yeah, so I wanted to just now wrap up this a little bit. So like I said, I finished One Day in December yesterday evening, and I landed on about a 3-star for this book. It maybe even a little under a 3-star. I don't know. I didn't love it. I was really bored reading the whole thing. If you don't love the insta-love trope, you are not going to like this, because this whole book is based off of insta-love. It's about these 2 people, and one day the female main character is sitting on a bus and she just makes eye contact with this man sitting outside, and she knows in that moment that this is her soulmate, right? And then the bus goes away and they don't see each other until I think it's about a year after that. Her best friend brings her new boyfriend home, and lo and behold, it is that person that she saw and has not stopped thinking about. And it's a little unbelievable, because it's like you didn't meet, you just saw a hot person outside and decided it was your soulmate. And then this book goes through years and years of just looking at their relationships, both from like a friendship perspective and a romance kind of perspective. And I don't know, there's always just this underlying tone through a lot of the book about the fact that this guy, Jack, is dating her best friend, and it's like you don't want them to be together. I know I didn't. He's in a relationship. Like, that's not okay. I didn't like the main characters very much. The female main character was okay, but our male main character, I thought he acted like a child through this whole book. He didn't really have any redeeming qualities. I also didn't really buy into their friendship. Never really see that friendship forming. They have a couple little interactions that are always kind of like awkward almost, I would say, and then you just hear through this whole book about how good of friends they are, how good of a connection they have. I did not love this book. It is for a book club, so I think if it wasn't for the book club, this is something I probably would have put down and then just picked up some other books I wanted to read. Maybe not fully DNF'd, but like a soft DNF kind of a moment. Approximately 3 stars for this one. And then I'm just gonna hold up my Kindle pretending that this still says Addicted to You on it. So I did finish Addicted to You last night, and I think that one's also gonna be a 3-star for me. It took me ever to finish this book, like months and months, and I don't know why. I was just never gravitating to pick it up. If you like a story that is really plot driven, this is not going to be the story for you, because it truly is just kind of looking at the relationship between these two people and what they're going through with their own personal addictions. I guess like in the beginning, I was kind of, their addictions made me more frustrated than anything. I was like, why are you guys doing the things that you do? But as the story progressed, you see like the toll that the addiction is taking on these characters, and you see like their struggles as well. Yeah, I found myself a little bit more interested towards the end as things started to conclude. So I think that I definitely down the road will be picking up the second book in the series. I know that this is a lot of people's Roman Empire books, and I do want to see what they're talking about. But I think that's just, it'll happen. It's just not gonna happen anytime soon. So that's the 2 books that I've already finished. So now it's Saturday and I'm gonna get some reading done. I'm going to start reading Bright Young Women again. So I'm still about halfway through that. I haven't made a ton of progress that way. I'm not loving that book either. My issue with that book is that I did start it on audiobook, and I find I'm not an audiobook girly. I find whenever I listen to an audiobook, no matter how good the book is, I'll probably typically rate it lower than if I actually read the physical copy. But I do also have the physical copy, so I'm gonna read the last half of it physically, and I'm gonna see how I feel after that. But that one needs to get done this weekend because that's the other book club pick. So I'm gonna get started on that, and I'll catch up with you guys later. So I am just about to head out for a couple hours to go see a friend. Me and her are going to be going to New York City at the beginning of February, and we're just kind of planning some things. We have our flights and our hotel booked, and our Broadway tickets booked, and we still have just some other things to be planning. And we also, one of the shows that we're gonna go see on Broadway is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child, which I'm so excited about because I love Harry Potter. And she's not as big of a Harry Potter fan, so we're trying to watch all the movies again so that she kind of knows what she's getting into when she goes to see the play. So we're hopefully gonna be watching the 3rd movie tonight to get that done. I told her she needs to watch at least up until the 4th movie to really get a good idea of what's going on in the play. So I told her watch up until movie 4, and then you really should be good to watch the show. So yeah, so I wanted to give you a little reading update before I left. I did read Bright Young Women for a little bit today. I am now on page 271, so I have about 100 pages left to read. Depending on what time I get back home tonight, I'll probably be able, my cat's on the counter, don't knock over my camera. In a perfect world, I'd be able to finish this book tonight because I have 100 pages left, so I think if I could read for another probably 2 hours, I could get this done. I'm not a super fast reader, so I find like it's usually like a minute per page-ish for me to get through. So if there's 100 pages, within 2 hours, I could probably get this done, adding in a little bit of time on my phone and whatnot. So that's the hope. And then if I finish this tonight, that means I've already finished 3 books. I still have Sunday to read some of my other books as well, which means that we'll make pretty good progress this week. I'm so jazzed with how well things are going so far. So yeah, anyway, thoughts on this book. Still finding it pretty mid, honestly. I find the writing is a little bit funny because you are in the point of view of our main character, Pamela, as one of the points of view in this. And it's written in present tense, as if the events of this book are happening in the moment, in the present, but then it will also talk about her future and things that will happen in the future. So it's almost like her future, or I guess present self, then talking about her past self, but it's like her past self was experiencing everything in that time. It's weird. It's kind of strange. It doesn't happen all the time, but every now and again there'll be like a comment of something that hasn't happened or won't happen for like another 20 or 30 years, and you're like, that's kind of weird. It just feels a little funny. I find the writing is okay in this. I'm not like gobbling this up. I do find myself reaching for my phone quite a bit. And there's been a couple of scenes in this that involve things that have happened to children. I don't know, when there's children involved in some of the situations that they touch on in this book, I don't want to give any spoilers or anything of what those situations are, but it always makes me a little bit uncomfortable reading about that. So it always just gives me this icky feeling, and it's happened a couple times in this book where I just kind of read something and it's not like overtly explicit or anything, but I'm kind of like I don't want to read about that in a book. But if that's something that triggers you, just know that there are some things in this book that might not be suited for you. I just got home from visiting my friends. We finished watching the second Harry Potter movie. She is probably going to watch the third tomorrow by herself because I've already seen them all and she's really the one that needs to play catch up. But I'm just got home now. It's about 10 o'clock. So I know my goal tonight was to finish reading Bright Young Women, and that might happen, it might not. I'm gonna see how things go because I think it's a little ambitious for me to say I'm gonna finish it tonight. But if I do, then I'm gonna give myself an old pat on the back because that will be awesome. We'll see if that happens. I'm gonna make myself a little hot chocolate because it's really cold outside today and I just wanna warm up a little bit as I hang out in my bed and read that book, and maybe that'll motivate me to just keep reading if I've got a little hot chocolate to read while I'm reading. I can't do it. I'm a failure. We can all acknowledge that at this point. I've got about 80 pages left in my book to read, and I simply cannot. I just need to go to bed. I'm just so tired. So I'm gonna finish it tomorrow morning. For sure, tomorrow morning I will sit down, knock out the rest of this book, and it will be done. Mark my words, it's going to happen. But right now I'm going to sleep. I'll see you guys on Sunday. I just finished reading Bright Young Women and I have some initial thoughts that I want to share. So I think this book for me overall is going to be about a 3-star. I think it was really interesting. Like the whole premise of it was very victim oriented. It was about the survivors and the victims of Ted Bundy. And it was really interesting how this author did it because she did not give a voice to Ted Bundy. He never was even named in this book at all, which I think is so empowering to the victims because so many times you see documentaries and books and things and it's all just centered around serial killers and their motives and their minds and what have you, and it kind of leaves you feeling a bit of an icky sense because people are profiting off of other people's tragedies. And so sometimes when I'm reading books like this, that's how I feel. It just leaves me a little unsettled because I'm like, I don't know how I feel about profiting off of that narrative. But in this case, I think that Jessica Knoll did a really good job at giving the victims voices and putting that into a book. However, I only rated it 3 stars because the writing itself wasn't something that I found that I personally enjoyed very much. I found I was often reading paragraphs and I would kind of like miss pieces. I just had a hard time following the story because I was just like zoning out a lot. So the writing itself for me wasn't something that I enjoyed. But this definitely is a book that I would recommend, especially if you want more of that victim-oriented perspective. Definitely look up some trigger warnings for this though, because there are certain scenes that I know not everybody would be comfortable with. And yeah, just kind of a unique concept as well and a unique perspective. So that being said, I finally finished my third book for the weekend. So that was my goal. It is, what time is it? It's 10:14 now on Sunday. So I definitely have a lot of the day left to continue to read, so we'll see. The other books that I've mentioned, I still have quite a bit to read of those, so I don't think that I'll be finishing another book today, but I'm going to take a little break from reading now, and I'll probably get back to reading sometime this afternoon. And we'll see how much I read before the weekend's over, but yes, 3 so far, yay! This book honestly makes the reading experience for Harry Potter so much more enjoyable. I love Harry Potter, like, forever. I have always loved Harry Potter. Harry Potter is my boy. I love him. But just like having these visuals and the illustrations through the whole thing and the interactive pop-ups and things, it makes it so much more intriguing. It's almost like I'm reading the book again for the first time because now I get all of these illustrations. And it's really kind of a unique experience going through this because I've never reread a book like this before where it's kind of completely redone, but you still get the same book. It's not abridged or anything like that. So I'm reading that still right now. I have about 100 pages of it left and it's probably about 5:30 right now. So there's a chance I might finish it tonight. If I do, that would be awesome. It is now Monday morning and I just wanted to film a little wrap up for everything that I did this weekend. All in all, I'd call it a successful weekend, but successful not so much in quality, but definitely successful in quantity. I did finish 4 books this weekend. That means that I've knocked 4 books out of those books that I'm currently reading. Of course, I did not finish the tandem read, still working on that, but I did finish a handful of books. I only have 2 of them physically right here because I took Bright Young Women out to my car to return to the library, and I'm not gonna go to get it again because it's -16 out today, and I'm not dealing with that. And then Addicted to You was on my e-reader. So both of those I gave 3 stars. I also finished One Day in December. This was also a 3 stars, so I didn't start out great with those. They were all enjoyable in certain ways, but just not books that I'd ever like reach for in the future or that would like really motivate me necessarily to read more books in the series. The only one that I think I will be for sure continuing is Addicted to You series, and that's just because I've heard really good things about the future books. So I trust people. I'm a trusting person, and if people are telling me it gets better, I'm gonna believe them. So one day I will continue that. And then I did finish Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, and this book is a 5 out of 5 book. The whole series for me is 5 out of 5. This one in particular, it's truly magical. A la Harry Potter. Very magical reading these books in this format. I showed you some of the images from this book as I was reading it, but it truly doesn't do the whole book justice. There's so many just fun little things and fun little images and pop-ups, and it changes the whole experience of reading the book. So I would truly encourage anybody that loves Harry Potter or is interested in reading Harry Potter to pick up these special editions of the book. There's only the first 3 out right now, unfortunately. So yes, I finished 4 books this weekend. I'm gonna continue reading the tandem read this week, but it really is like a weight off of my shoulders knowing that those 4 books are completed. And I have, okay, also this is a me issue, because you know how I was talking about how the big push for this weekend was to finish the 2 book club books, Bright Young Woman and One Day in December, because we were meeting on Monday, which is today. And I just looked at my calendar and I realized it's next Monday. It's not today. So I put all this pressure on myself to finish those books and I didn't need to. But now they're done, so great. I'm prepared now at least. So thank you so much guys for coming. If you love this video, feel free to like and subscribe and check out some of the other videos on my channel. If there's anything that you want to see from me in the future, just leave a comment below. And I'm so happy that you watched to this point. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.